Ah, there you are. Welcome to Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood, LA, California, the home of the movie stars. And today we have another Mike Dolbear web show from the famous EastWest studios. Let's go and see who we've got. Come on, let's go. Now, I'm warning you all, before we start, I have no idea what is going to happen here. And I'm scared. First of all, one of our guests has come back. It's the second time. I didn't want him, but he gave me a tough time. He said, I've got to be back on that show because I get the ratings. And there's another gentleman where, like I said, I don't know where we're going to go with this. But first of all, please welcome Aaron Spears and Stanley Randolph. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we here.
Cheers.
Yes.
Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
Yes. So we're at EastWest Studios in Hollywood, which has had numerous big hits. Elvis Presley recorded in that one. New York was recorded in Studio One.
Wow.
You've actually been here before, haven't you, Stanley?
Yeah, I've been here before with Chrisette Michelle, and I've been here before with Miguel.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've been here some other times too. I just don't remember who was there for.
Yeah.
Haley Reinhardt.
Okay. Oh yeah, I love her. She's dope.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys go back, and in fact, I've heard a story that numerous times people come up to Stanley and go, Stanley, Aaron, how you doing, man? You go,
I was just about to stop it. I was just about to say that. People used to think I was Aaron.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They used to think I was Aaron Spears as well. Though.
Really? That would be a major upgrade.
Okay, so I want to go back to inspirations for you guys. Okay, Aaron, let's start with you. Who inspired you? What got you going?
Like growing up, you mean?
Yeah,
like
when
to
you
play?
were younger.
For me, it started with like cats that I would listen to at church, like the guys that were playing at my local church. Those were the gigging musicians that I knew of at that time. Like my world at that time was just music. It was just kind of church. So the guys that were playing, like if it was concerts or it was Sunday morning, like those were the guys. And then as my world started to get a little bit bigger, then started branching out to more gospel guys, but that were on like more of a nationwide level. So cats like Gerald Hayward or Marvin McQuitty or Michael Williams or Joe Smith, Dana Davis. It was Kevin Brunson. It was the cats that was playing with the choirs that were touring, from city to city that I got hip to. That were like early inspirations. Later on, it got to be cats on records like Klaus Stubblefield, Jabo Starks, Uriel Jones, Zigaboo. It was like the cats that were playing music and playing records that, I was allowed to listen to. Those became inspirations. And then later on, the cats that were doing it at the next level for me, which was like Vinnie Colaiuta or like Steve Gadd.
You're just going to repeat, aren't you?
Yeah. We're going to repeat the same names.
Gadd or Weckl, Dennis Chambers.
Yes.
Omar Hakeem. Like it was cats like that were, kind of like the next level of what it was that I originally saw in my small world coming up in church.
I mean, because you also came through the church, didn't
Yes,
you? And
exactly.
so again, what age was you when you sort of started playing?
Man, I want to say 5, but that's because, I was playing at home, just banging on stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't really start playing like for church or whatever until I was like 8. Which is
Until
really,
I was about 8.
Is really,
yes.
Imagine this
You're
small
such a
little
late
kid,
starter.
small little kid playing for like
Wow.
a huge congregation.
Well, I mean, why do you think that the church is produced over the last 10 years such a massive influx of great drummers?
I think it's because, man, it's the place where most drummers can be free. they're like you find out who you are as a drummer in church. You know what I'm saying? Like you experiment.
Yeah.
Like a lot of drummers I know, like sometimes they will play certain songs, and some of them would choose to play like the record, and then some people wouldn't play like the record because it's church. It's like you can create your own vibe. You know? So that's what I feel like. That's
You're sort of same, is it?
I would say so for sure. And then the other thing too is, man, church is so many different styles of music that's being played on a Sunday morning. I mean, it could be blues. It could have like, you know, some rock undertones to some of the music. It could be, you know, like maybe like a jazz kind of vibe. I mean, it's just so many different, even odd time. Like even before I knew what odd time was, I was playing songs in 9 or in 3.
You just heard them and played them.
Well, because that's what it was. But it wasn't until I got much older that I realized, oh shoot, that song is actually in 9.
Yeah.
Well, that song is in 3. But you know, as a kid, I'm just playing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't care what it is. I just want to play it right. So they asked me to come back and play again.
Right.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I had a talk to Chris Coleman about this, and you know, because I don't like the tag gospel. It's music, and as Chris Coleman said, you know, the thing about the people that tag it gospel, really, it's the same. If you look at it, the same speed and the same weight as death metal or speed metal. And so if you want to look at that, you've got 2 different worships here. So it's drumming. It just happens to be that, I think like you just said, the opportunity now for so many young people to learn lots of styles is in church.
Yeah,
exactly.
Certainly it's the same in the UK.
Yeah.
And I know because one of the things when we've spent time together, Aaron, that surprised me is church to me, when I was growing up in the UK, would be 50 or 60 old people sitting in a church. Yeah. And, you know, one of them could be dead and we didn't even know. You know? But you talk about it, you go, oh yeah, there's like 3,000, you know, and we got PAs and we got, like, man,
listen,
that's the church I wanted to go to.
Church now it's a different thing. This church that I lived on New Year's, I had to fill in for a friend of mine at church, and man, they got their own monitor board. They got the front of house, man. I mean, it's literally like
it's a whole production.
Like 5,000 people there on a Sunday.
Wow.
Like it's crazy like that, bro. It's crazy.
You don't have to make the coffee afterwards for everybody, do you? Because that's going to be a long queue.
Nah, don't have to do it.
Okay, so then you've talked about, and again, this is a conversation we've had before, Aaron. You've talked about your inspirations, and you are those guys now. You know, whether you like it or not. And I know you, at some stage, Aaron, has struggled with that.
It's crazy, man.
You are the guys now that people look up to and respect. But what I like about what you're both doing is this is a business, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
Okay? If we don't look after our business, no one else is really going to do it. So it's behaviour, it's the way that you so the question I've got for you is when you're out on the road, and it's very easy to get caught up in, you know, you're out on the road with Usher, or you're out on the road with Steve. It's very easy to get caught up with everything. You know, lobby.
Really? Come in.
You might as well come in.
Who was it? I can't even see.
Sput.
Welcome everyone. Sput.
I was looking for the restroom.
Was you? I've got another mic. Do you want to join us for 10 minutes?
Come on.
TV shows.
Do you want to join us?
Yeah.
Come on.
We've got to get you a mic. We're running live.
Oh, okay.
Let's do it.
Come in.
Wow. Look, Sput, you've just joined us. Where have you been?
Come on.
Come on.
In the
what
building.
happened? Thank you for joining us.
Camera, what I'm looking at.
Everywhere,
Yeah,
Sput,
everywhere.
everywhere.
Don't
Control
look up.
him.
Don't look up there.
Now, control him.
Don't look up there. Whoa! Look at this.
Okay, guys, now it's really chaos. So the question I had, we were talking about was,
Gotta do it.
Somebody.
You, like I said, you are the guys now that are what younger drummers are now looking up to. The inspirations you were talking about. You are the guys.
Weird.
It is
I know
weird.
it is weird.
So weird.
But what I find about all of you is that when you're out on the road and you're doing your tours and it's, you know, you get caught up in, I don't know, the Usher tour, the Stevie Wonder, lobby call at such and such a time, dinner at such and such a time, blah, blah, blah. You are running a business. So a question first, I mean, maybe you want to talk about this maybe first, but is how do you manage the business when you're on the road?
You do exactly that. You manage it, because if you don't, you'll be all over the place. I mean, you have to really, you got to have the same strategy. From my point of view, you got to have the same strategy you have towards learning music, because it's just as important. Like you gotta take time. You gotta say, hey, I'm gonna put time to the calendar. I'm gonna see what's going on here, see what's going on there. I just talked to somebody today about how important it is once you start working to have help sometimes, even in business, because it's like now. I mean, like I for my first time last year, I double booked myself 3 times, and that's business.
Yeah.
That could be bad business.
Yeah.
Thank God I have relationships with the people and was able to work stuff out. But I think it's important for longevity and your survival, because I mean, at any given moment, if we don't look at ourselves as artists, if we don't see ourselves as the artists, and I think that is the thing that,
The key.
especially these groups, because I think I've had this conversation. I know I've had it with Aaron, but I think musicians nowadays, they just don't see themselves as artists. They see themselves as the drummer for an artist. And I think if you start seeing yourself as an artist, then you'll start paying more attention to what your movement is, because at the end of the day, you have to have something to fall back on. If they decide any minute, any moment that they don't want to tour anymore, and so at this point, you're not left, with nothing, because you're an artist and you can make that work for yourself. So I think that's more important. If we see ourselves as artists, then I mean that's our longevity. You know, if we make our own, then the artists call us and we can be like, let me see.
Right.
Exactly.
Let me see.
Right.
Let me see what's on this schedule.
Unless you're a retainer.
If you don't retain it,
You have to say yes. no,
You've got
yeah.
different issues.
different issues. You got a good bad issue.
Yes.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
exactly. It's
Yeah.
totally
You know what I'm
good
saying?
bad
Like,
issue.
so it's like at the end of the day, that's what you want, because you want that. That's longevity. That's business still, though.
Absolutely.
And there's not many of those gigs around. I mean,
No.
just so
That's true.
just
No.
to
That's
make
still
it clear,
business.
Being on a
It is
retainer
business.
means that you're getting paid to do the gig, and whatever happens. I mean, so Stanley, I mean, that's a really good point, because you are in a very lucky position with Stevie that you've got that, but that is also
It's a good
an
and a bad
unlucky
thing.
situation. I
Yeah.
mean, so again, how do you manage that? Because
Man, I have a manager that can be the bad person for me.
right, okay,
They take the fall.
They take the fall. No,
Yeah.
but
But
it's,
wait, that's business.
it is
Yeah.
business.
Yeah,
you
That's
know, but-
business because you get to keep the relationship and it not be you.
yeah,
Yeah, because there's been times where I've booked something for myself and had to cancel it like last minute. Some really big stuff. I had to cancel last minute because I got a call to leave. So
yeah. I mean, the same with you, Aaron. I mean, like I said, and I don't mean this in any disrespectful way, but I've seen you grow up into what you are now. And I've seen you. I've witnessed the change. We did our first clinic tour together, your first ever tour together, and I've witnessed the change. Yeah, Sput. See you later.
in and out. That's
Thank you.
in and out, ladies and gentlemen.
Any and outie.
Any-
So I just played this new finish. It's the Blue Satin Flame finish, and they're right out of the box. And I just put them through 3 extreme tunings, one of which I generally play with Knee Body or the bands that I play that kind of music with, and just, it felt really familiar right away. I just kind of tuned it to the note range that I generally play in, and I felt very comfortable.
Y'all can have y'all thing back.
Aaron.
Yeah.
So for example, you now organise. You're out on the road. You've got a tour going on. You're going to go right. I've got 2 days off.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to. I'm going to go do some clinics.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this, and then when this tour finishes, I've got to go home, and then I've got to jump on the Usher tour.
Yeah, or whatever it is.
How do you manage that when you're in a hotel or on a tour bus?
It's just a mindset to, I want to make sure that, my legacy when, I leave this earth, that it's one that is great, and it's a positive impact on everybody that comes to hear me play or comes to hear me talk. For me, it's a mindset to be able to do something that's bigger than just me. you know, and I think that in order to make that happen, I have to be able to manage good relations with people. You know, I have to be able to, if I put on a clinic or a master class, I want to be able to make sure that everybody that comes has a good time, so that way they'll have me back. You know, I don't want it to be said where, oh man, he was a jerk, he didn't want to take pictures, or you know, he didn't answer my question, or you know, I want to try to make sure that everybody, you know, has a good time, so that way we'll continue to keep the party rolling. I'll be back another time, and it just gets bigger and bigger. The word spreads. You know, it continues to spread, and people continue to show love, and I just want to be able to continue to foster that, you know.
Well, we'll go a little bit more left field, because one of the things I've noticed in the last 5 years and emails that I get on a daily basis is young cats that are like, how do I get an endorsement? How do I get free gear? And I'm always like, guys, these guys never thought like that.
Nah.
I mean, again, what if you've got the young kid that comes to you and says it? What's your advice to them, Stanley?
Honestly, I wouldn't even know what to tell them, because I was blessed with my endorsements. I didn't go looking for it. They kind of just happened.
Because you were working though.
Yeah.
You offered something to the company.
See, his focus was on work.
Exactly. You know,
Exactly.
I wasn't looking for that, you know. I've always been that drummer to, you know, work, save my money, and go get what I want.
Right.
So, you know, when it came to endorsements or getting the big gigs, a company wanting to invest into me as an artist or in my career was a total surprise. It's really when I opened my eyes to like, oh man, this is something different. This is a whole career. This is a business. I can like doing photo shoots. I'm an artist. So it was, my eyes was open then to what endorsements are.
Same for me. It was like, you know, I wasn't seeking them in order to, you know, I want free stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, it was like trying to build relationships with them for the future. Like I know, you know, starting out, like my first DW kit, I bought that kit from DW. I purchased it at you know, they gave me a great deal on it, like maybe 40% off or 50% off, something like that. But I bought into it because I was like, this is what I love. I love these drums. I love these sticks. I love these cymbals. I love these heads. So if you are willing to work with me right now while I'm at this level, I feel like in the future, it's going to change. And it did. And it has changed.
Yeah, I mean, you tell a lovely story. I can't remember exactly where you were working, but you told me a lovely story because you were a little bit later becoming a professional musician when you first got Usher's gig, and you told your mum.
Oh, yeah.
Where was you working?
My mom was like, she asked me, I told her, I was like, Mom, you know, I got a gig, I'm working, you know, I'm going to be working with Usher. And she was like, oh, baby, that's good. What church is that? Because she didn't know. Yeah. My mom she churchy, you know. She had no idea who Usher was.
You're on the stage. You're on the stage.
Yeah, so I had to like show her, like, you know, who Usher is. You know, like nice and, you know, take his shirt off. And she was like, oh no, baby, you sure you gonna do that? You know, so but that was just, you know, that was the vibe. What church is that? You know, but that's what it is.
Okay, well, you understand as well that one of the questions I ask lots and lots of drummers is, who is the one artist that you would like to work with? And you know which artist? Nearly all of them keep saying is Stevie Wonder. And so you've got the gig. So you're the envy of a lot of people. Do you remember how that gig came about?
Yeah, definitely. From two friends, Teddy Campbell and Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson was having a baby with his wife at the time. And I got a random call in the middle of the night, man. It was crazy. Got a call from Teddy. He was like, yo, man, I want you to come by the studio and check something out. And I was like, cool, yeah, I'll come down. I go down, I'm sitting in the studio. He got, you know, I'm in the waiting area. And this door just opens, man, and Stevie Wonder walks through the door by himself, just like with nobody walking with him. So I was like tripping out, like, whoa, that's Stevie Wonder, man. Like, there's probably a bunch of crazy people back there. Right. Because I'm thinking, like, I haven't seen the studio, so I don't know how big it is or what's going on. I'm thinking it's multiple studios. It's like, I'm like, man, it's, wow, who knows who else is back there? So they come and get me and they take me to the back. He was like, yeah, man. As we're walking to the back, he was like, yo, man, you know, Chris has to leave for a little while. He's having a kid, you know, and there's a tour going on. I wanted to see, man, if you're interested in playing for Stevie. I was like, what? I was like, yeah, man, sure. For sure, definitely. I went back there, man, met the guy, cool dude. Sat there and played giant steps for like 2 hours.
Right.
Yeah. And that was my audition, pretty much. We went through some of his stuff, like very little stuff here and there, but for 2 hours we were playing giant steps.
Crazy.
So the very first gig that you do with Stevie Wonder.
Oh man, I remember that.
And you're now having to beat Stevie Wonder because hopefully most people that watch this know that Stevie played on a lot of his
Yeah, he
all,
did.
All of his stuff.
Yeah, he
pretty
did.
and he
much.
played it unorthodox. He
Yes.
played it like Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you have to come in and be Stevie until everything felt comfortable, or could you come in and go, okay, I'm Stanley and this is how I play it?
Well, at first when I came in, I was Stanley.
Right.
Because I didn't even know majority of his songs, number one, which was crazy. You know, when they told me I had the gig, they gave me an iPod and it had like 200 some songs. And it was like, yo, we leaving in a week and a half, learn as much as you can. And there wasn't even a rehearsal.
That's crazy.
I just had to watch Chris Johnson play 3 shows. That's all I got.
You shadowed him. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy.
Just 3 shows. That's all I got, man. My first show was in Atlanta. And I remember before I went on stage, the thing that he told me, he was like, man, you know, go up there, have fun. And if you mess up loud, you know, and, you know, mess up again. So you think it's supposed to be there.
Opposite to the James Brown format.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to get
Yeah.
fined and you're going to
Yeah, exactly. It was totally, it calmed my mind because, you know, it was first of all, it was one of the biggest shows I've ever done first, you know, so it was a huge arena. So to hear that from the artist, from a legend like that, you know, you're going to mess up. If you mess up loud, it's cool. Do it again, you know. It put me at peace. So
what do you think, why do you think Stevie has lasted so long and is as incredible as it is?
because he's young at heart, man.
Is it?
He is. He's a young dude. Even though, you know, he's as old as he is now, but his personality and everything, he's a young dude. Young at heart, you know. He has young people around him all the time, so young energy.
And the same for you, really. With Usher. I mean, Usher is also, well, I think he likes to think he's a drummer as well.
He
But,
does.
he's also, but when you first started that
Yeah.
gig, obviously you're the new boy. Now Usher respects you, and so again, I mean, how do you approach that when you first come in?
I just come in just trying to do the best that I could, man. Try to bring myself to the gig and pay attention to what it is that they need on the gig and try to give them the best, you know. Just try to make it what it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
He murdered it.
I know.
It was a good time, man. It was a good time.
Okay, again, part of the touring and again, something that affected you was Manchester.
Oh
last
yeah.
year, okay,
Yeah.
with the horrendous thing that happened in Manchester.
Yeah.
Obviously, you were on that gig. And I know, speaking to a couple of artists that have said that actually they're not touring in England. They're not going to go to England because of this situation now. I mean, I know it affected you.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, how did you get through that afterwards?
Oh man, it was crazy in the fact that, you know, music is something that we use as a tool to help take people from the stress of their day. You know, they had a bad week. They've been looking forward to coming to hear some good music, you know, all week long. They've been excited. They're, you know, hype. And, you know, music is what we use to kind of like transport them to that place of happiness. So for it to go from that to like extreme chaos.
Within minutes.
Seconds, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, like the show was over and done. And we walk into the dressing room and we heard it. We heard the boom and felt it. You know, we just were in disbelief. Like, man, what could that possibly have been? You know, a bomb is the last thing you think. You think maybe it's the PA, somebody left something plugged up, or maybe something huge fell. Maybe a transformer came and fell out or something. I mean, you just don't know what it is. You have no idea until they started telling us that we had to evacuate because it was a bomb. And then the numbers start coming up, you know, as far as like how many people were injured or how many people were killed. So it was really, really tough, man. Like, you know, to be there in that whole, that environment, you know, immediately, man, I called my family to let them know, you know, before you see this on the news, I want you to know, like, we're all okay. Everything is all right. But even after that, man, just kind of still being in London and, you know, them talking about us doing like the whole concert and everything. Like, man, everybody wasn't with it, you know, because it's like, you know, cats wanted to kind of go home and call it a
well,
quits,
that's what I was
you
gonna
know,
say.
and
And Ariana's not. It's only a young
Yeah.
person herself.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
these are young kids in the audience.
yeah, that's the other thing that was really crazy is like, you know, it's like little girls that come to the concert. You know, they all had the little ears and stuff on, you know, but they're like, you know, they're kids, you know, like teenagers, preteens, you know, and it's just like to know that someone would do something to try to hurt them in that way. It was just crazy. It was heavy.
What would sort of the effect being coming back to guys like, I don't know where you were, but if you were out on the road with Stevie at that time, or guys that are out there on the road all the time, getting that kind of news,
And it was
did it
scary.
affect you guys?
Yeah, that's scary, man. The last thing you want to worry about is going to a show and something like that can happen. You know, it's. I mean, like you said, you go to concerts to be free, man. Like music brings freedom. So for something like that to happen, and even me myself, I'd be concerned because I'm with a iconic person.
Yeah.
That's heavy, you know, that talks about politics all the time on the stage, you know. So it's crazy. So it's a scary feeling to even think about that. So
But I think what we do though is, as you just said, and again, I'm going to go take this back to the church. You know, the thing about the church is it's community.
Yeah.
You know, you go in there, and I'm a firm believer. I don't care what color people are, what sex people are, whatever it is. We just got to all get on with each other.
Oh, yeah.
And if we solve that problem, then you know. But so music though is, like you say, is an uplifting. It's an experience.
It really is.
You
It
know,
really
and I
is an
think that
experience.
we need. You know what you did in Manchester and what bands are doing is going. Well, you know what, we're going to go out there and do this.
Oh, you were gonna say a bad word, weren't
I
you?
was. It's close. I was
Man,
close.
you was like, fuck.
Yeah,
We're
no,
gonna just do.
We got to carry
you
on.
almost
you know,
let that out.
because, like you just said, people go to that concert. I wouldn't have you wouldn't have taken that one out. You'd have left it in. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, boys. Let's get over to this one.
we almost needed a bleep button.
Okay.
Yeah, beep.
Use it. No, sorry. No, you're throwing me out, and you've got confused me now. So it's show and tell time.
All right, let's have it.
Okay. So.
Do you have like a cool theme song for show and tell or something like that? That's not it. That's not it.
No, it's not cool.
No, that's not
You don't
it.
like that one?
No.
That's not it.
Okay. Stanley,
Yes.
what's your show and tell, and
Oh
why?
man, my show and tell is my hat.
Ah.
Nice.
Whoa.
And the reason why is because it's I got this hat, well not this one exactly. I got a few other ones, but this is a newer one. I have a black one. Everybody sees me wearing the black one.
Yeah.
You guys should know me about the black one.
Oh yeah.
But when I
didn't
got that
recognise you, to
hat,
be honest,
without the
one.
hat,
Yeah, it's-
see?
I see it through me.
yeah, but see that's why I had to change it up so people can just get used to me wearing a hat in general. But when I got a hat, that's when I turned myself into an artist.
Yeah.
That's when I was like, you know, my whole image with the fashion and everything, like, this is gonna mean something. And it actually wearing this hat, man, you know, built up my confidence, man. You
Okay.
know, just started.
Did you lack confidence?
No, I didn't.
No, he did
at all.
not.
Never.
No, this is Memphis finest right
That's
here.
right. That's right, baby. Memphis finest. But yeah, it's, you know, it's even to the point to where I tell people now, and I'm like, man, how you so funky, man? I was like, man, it's magic. It's in my hat, man.
The hat. So everyone's wearing hats. That's why I need a hat.
Look. Yeah, people, I saw a lot of drummers start wearing hats after I, you know,
Definitely.
started wearing mine.
I think you're right, and totally agree with that as well. It is an image, and
Yeah,
the
it's my
artists
vibe.
that we are talking about have all got
Yeah.
an image.
It's my vibe, totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron,
Yes.
last time, I think it was season 1,
Yeah.
when you came along and
Right.
you did your show and tell.
Yeah.
There was lots of items, one of them being the poo-pourri.
You remember the poo-pourri?
I remember the
poo-pourri?
poo-pourri. The poo-pourri!
So
It's famous.
Let me get Stanley up to speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Poo-pourri
Just talk amongst
basically.
yourselves while they keep up to date. Okay.
Basically, what happens is, when you're on tour and you're in the band room
Yeah.
and you have to go.
Yeah.
Deuce is wild. You know what I'm talking about.
It's wow.
You go. The poo-pourri is the spray that you spray that totally annihilates any smell. So it's like roses in there.
That's awesome.
It's crazy. So I was explaining to Mike, like, this is because it's consideration for your fellow
That's so
bandmates.
important.
Yeah.
Who wants to go
So
into
nice,
like
isn't
a
it?
real funk box?
Oh man,
That is why.
You
if
walk
I was
into a
booked-
cloud of poo-poo smoke.
Yeah.
That's not sweet.
To be honest with you, that's why I always
Poo-poo
book when I'm doing clinic tours.
smoke.
I'll only have Aaron now because I know if I'm sharing
got
a
you.
changing room,
I got
I'm
you.
going to be fine.
I
It's
got
going to be cool.
I got you.
So, what have you got for us this time?
Well, I left my thing at the room. I left it. Hold on. I'll tell you what it is. It was just wipes, because when you go,
I know.
come on now.
you gotta have
baby
those
wipes.
Baby wipes.
Okay.
It's important.
Yep.
But what I have with me is my phone
Okay.
because this
Ooh.
does so many things. This gives me directions. This gives me restaurant recommendations. This helps me to keep in touch with my friends. This is a necessity. I also take good selfies with this.
Yeah, of course you do.
It does everything that I need to do. It's almost like a personal assistant, but it's not so.
And you know the
It's not a
most important
person.
thing that's on there?
Yes.
Your Nando's card.
No. Actually, no. I don't have a Nando's card anymore, man. I lost it.
Nando's
you
card.
get a Nando's. Are you a Nando's? You must be a Nando's
I
guy.
love Nando's, but I've never heard about no Nando's
you-
cards.
what?
So
Oh.
they give you like a what is it, like the card when you go, they stamp your card and
You put
get
points on it.
you get points on
Oh,
the
I
card, and
didn't
then
know
when
that.
you go like maybe 4 times, they give you like free stuff.
And
Free
as Aaron
chicken?
goes 4 times a
Incredible.
day when he's in the UK, obviously it builds up
chicken.
pretty quickly. So,
do go
okay.
there.
So I've got a use it or lose it. And I think this particular item, with what you've got on today, I think you're going to like this.
Okay.
So in one of the previous shows, we talked about a company that are making glasses out of drum shells.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is the same company, and they've just started making glasses out of cymbals.
Really?
Okay, so there's a couple of pairs. We've only got a couple of pairs, and one pair of them is actually mine, and so they've got my prescription.
Nice.
So you won't see anything. This one isn't. So this is one. This
Give it a
pair's
try,
just a
Stan.
plain pair, and this is another pair. So it's a little bit more bigger and funky, and
This must be your pair.
this is my pair.
Holy
I should wear the bigger ones though.
But you won't see anything out of them, unfortunately.
Oh,
'cause they're
oh, they
mine,
got
but
prescription.
Mike.
But yeah,
Is this your prescription?
yeah, well, yeah.
That's pretty
I tell you
big.
what, though, put them on. Look how good I look.
Whoa.
It's a-
Mike.
So you look great through my prescription.
Holy smokes. Is there, are there people, I hear voices. Are there people here?
you can see me.
Holy smokes.
But
Stanley? Stanley?
I gotta keep this on point.
Whoa.
The
Stan,
glasses, anyway.
wait a minute. This
you
profile
feeling-
is
are you feeling a bit-
amazing, bro. Yikes.
To Stanley, see how he gets on.
Oh my gosh.
Try that.
You're meant to be looking at the glasses, not.
Holy Mike, are you serious?
Yeah.
They weren't able to make like
Oh, that's part of the design. The shell, the thickness of it is something that they've done just to make it like that. That's not because my glasses are that.
that's what I'm saying.
See, look,
That gives
normally
me a
that's
headache, though.
unnormal.
Yeah, that's
that's
what I
fine.
mean.
Oh
What
no,
is
no,
Mike?
because it's so biff.
Holy smokes.
I was
That,
gonna say,
that
man.
thing is on steroids. That thing is buff.
It like
Ooh.
makes you cross-eyed a little bit though.
But the frames.
But the
that's-
frames are
The frames are
Okay,
dope.
so let's go to the frame. So you
frames
can,
are dope.
would they? Do you like those?
Actually,
cool.
yeah,
So I think that they
These are
say things
symbols.
like, guys that have got a symbol that they've split, they send it to them and they make a symbol out
That's
of it.
actually
or-
really cool.
So it's a personal sort of thing.
I
and,
like this idea a little bit more than the drum shell
Do
idea.
you? So this
Yeah,
would be
this is
something
really
you'd
cool.
use.
Yeah, maybe so.
Oh man, I wish I saw the drum shells.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what
them right
these
there.
are.
That was drum shells.
Oh, see, yeah, nah,
You're more of a drum man.
I'm with these. These are cool too, but
Mm-hmm.
I like those.
Okay. So you would use these, but you would
Yeah.
lose them.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, we're coming to the end of the show.
Ah,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We're coming to the end of the show. Do you remember the first time I'm taking these? Because
yeah.
you just are mean to me about my
It's all right,
glasses.
no worries.
Okay.
No worries.
In fact, I'm going to wear them for the rest of the show.
I understand. Please, please do.
So, do you remember the first time you guys met?
Shoo.
I do.
Was Nam?
Whoa, you look good, Aaron.
Thanks, bro.
Was it Nam? It might have been Nam.
I feel
Or
like
it might have been the bowling alley.
Nah, was it?
Nando's?
Nah, I'm gonna tell you what it was. It was Soul Seekers.
Soul
Talk to me.
Seekers.
Talk to me.
That's right. You
Yep.
were sitting right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, right in front of me.
We were in
Well, yeah.
close proximity.
So did you know of each other before? Had you
I-
been working?
We knew of each other for
Okay.
sure. Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
growing up or coming through, starting to, you didn't know of each other then. It was
No,
you both-
it was
yeah,
much later on in life.
I got hip to Aaron Spears. I was home, and
I can't wear these.
yes, I'm glad
I
you
was just
changed.
waiting
I'm
to
putting
see
these
how.
back on you.
I was waiting to see
You can
how
see
long
me
it was
eyes.
gonna
There you
take
go.
you. Yeah,
There you
there it
go.
is.
I was home, yo, and first of all, Usher has always been the artist that has a live band.
Yeah.
Like, I totally respected him for that. Like, he always, like, I saw some of the greatest drummers play with Usher.
Brian
So-
Fraser Moore,
Oh man,
Liddell Abrams.
Big Mike Clemens,
Mike.
yeah. Like, I saw all these guys play, and he would always come out with a DVD,
Always.
which was like the best. So I was like, man, you get to watch R&B or whatever with a live band. It was awesome. So Usher had a special coming on TV live in Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Man. And they gave this guy so much camera time.
Yeah.
And it was like, first of all, I was a big guy too. So I was like, man, I had never really seen a big guy get around a kid like that, So I was like, whoa. Yeah, the whole setup, the black drums with the pinstripe heads. And
yeah.
I remember the whole setup. He had a crash right here. Then it was the first guy I seen use a hi-hat on the side with the way that he used it.
Wow, Stanley.
I remember all of that.
That's crazy.
How long ago was this? Do you know?
Man, this was 2004, 2003.
Years ago, yeah.
2004?
Years ago.
Yeah.
I recorded that joint and watched it for months, years. I still watch it to this day.
I mean, I remember you telling me on the
Live in
last,
Puerto Rico.
or a couple of clinic tours ago we did, that one of the clinics you did, I could be wrong, but it may have been Ireland. You did a clinic, and then Usher and the band came and was standing up, come to watch the clinic.
Yeah, that was in
you.
Dublin. Yeah. And they were drinking Guinness and getting drunk and asking me questions
And
like,
all the audience were like, "Oh
like,
man, who is this guy?
who
Keeps
is this
asking
guy
all
up
these
here?"
stupid questions."
And then he comes to me the next day. We had a show, and he's like, "You know what? We should start the show off with you just doing something in 7, and then we just come." I was like, "No. Listen, don't be hyped. Don't get excited. That only works in a drum clinic. People don't dance in 7. No, doesn't happen like that." Anyway, but
But if they did, man.
it would be
Listen, guys,
a time.
It's been great seeing you. Like I said, you are the guys that inspired you. You are those guys, and so
Appreciate it.
And what I love about both of you and Aaron, I know, like I said, spent quite a bit of time with. You've always got a happy face. You're always taking everything, even when things are serious. You
got to, man.
Man, you
Life is
gotta
too
be
short.
happy, man.
Life is too
blessed.
short.
You
Yeah.
gotta be happy.
Yeah.
And whenever you want to give up Stevie's gig, I think I've got 976 drummers ready to walk in. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you to my guests, EastWest Studios. Guys, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.
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 For
Thank
sure.
you. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mike Dolbear Web Show. If you want more, please subscribe to my YouTube page, Drum Clips, and you want to see Season 1 and Season 2, just click on the button now.